7 skies. So what would khalaqa be?
Oh, created, not
There
guided.
you go. Yeah,
Yes.
so there you go, right? So that's why waiting. I'm like, okay, let him read forward and then he'll figure out. Okay, great.
أنعامهم, the cattle, وأنفسهم, themselves, and themselves. أفلا, then do not. يبصرون, they see.
Okay, perfect. Mashallah. Okay, Sister Sumaya, what do you think?
كلما أرادوا أن يخرجوا, anytime they desire to leave it.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good.
كذابنا.
Sorry, what is Nadir?
Oh, warner.
Warner, very good. Yes, Warner. Okay, so what is so that's one of the particles that we have, which means or. Very straightforward. Means or. Okay, now we're going into the next one. So this is, I think, the first verb, sort of the first verb that we are encountering. Okay, and I want you to start identifying a few things. Okay, and I'll be sharing that. Will be happening every day, and then the more we do it, the faster and the better you will become. So as you look at this verb, يقولون, can you identify something? If you can identify something, let's use your chat box or unmute and speak up. We just want to, we're not talking about the meaning. We're just seeing, can we identify Lego pieces, right? So for example, this is an ear, this is another ear, this is a tail, right? Yes, it's a cat, but we can see different parts of it. So we want to do the same thing. Can you identify different parts here? Yeah, okay, nice. All right, that's pretty good. I like that, Brian. Nice, I was going to say this. Okay, good. What is telling you about plural? Sifu there. What is telling you about the plural? What gives you the hint that it's a plural? Awesome, good. So at the very end, we see a vowel noon. We know, hey, you know what? When I see that, boom, I know this is something that will be a plural. That's awesome. So I don't have to worry about it. I already got that. Someone mentioned the ya. Okay. So now, if you see a ya at the beginning of a word, okay, that's a hint. If you see a ya at the beginning of a word, and we'll dive into details later, but for now, the tip is a tip, right? You're talking about big tips, big wins. If you see a ya, usually it means third person, right? And we talked about third person yesterday. And not only does it mean third person, it also means masculine. So if you see a ya, usually it means third person masculine. Okay, so what is a third person masculine pronoun? Give me a third person masculine pronoun in English. A third person masculine, he, nice, okay? Now, but Sifu told us that it is a plural. So if we know it's a plural, then what would he become? They, awesome. Okay, so we know now it's yaquluna. The ya and waw noon is giving us the meaning of they. And someone mentioned qaf waw loom seems to be the root letters, which is correct. And this means they say, hey, this thing, this qaf waw loom, qaf waw lam, it comes around 1620 times in Quran. So yaquluna, they say. So now you know the action of saying, speaking, and you know who's saying it. The pronoun is they. Awesome. All right, going forward. Okay, let's take a look at iftarahu. Iftarahu. Let's see if you can identify something. What can you identify here? I think we can only identify one thing here. Let's see if you guys get that.
The pronoun at the end, that's all I can identify.
That's awesome. That is very good. See, if you go back to our pronoun chart, right? And that's the first thing you can do. Well, even though you don't know which of these pronouns it is, but hey, right here, attached pronoun of a who or he. That's what we have here. Okay, then you can think about the translation, but just identifying the pronoun is a big deal. Iftarahu. Okay, so it's an attached thing. So what this means, as we see here, he invented it. Iftarahu, he invented it. This it is coming from the who that's attached to it. If you want to be more, you know, if you want to use the masculine and feminine pronoun, you can say he invented him. But it doesn't matter, right? Like that, you know, with the context, you will already figure out if it's male or female. So we don't have to worry too much about it. You can say he invented it, or you can say he invented him. Okay. Now, the new thing here is basically the verb. It's a new thing. We haven't done this before, right? So that's a new thing that you will have to probably practice, and which is faraya, right? As you see here, faraya. And this means to invent something. Iftarahu. Do they say that he has invented it? Well, the question can be, well, who is this pronoun pointing to? Right? Whenever you use the pronoun, it must be talking about something. What is this it that it's talking about? So usually the way you find it is that you see what was being talked about. So anybody know what was being talked about here before this? So Lena,
the book that was revealed.
awesome,
Oh,
right?
there
So
was.
if you look at the verse here, Tanzilul Kitab, it's talking about the book. There's no doubt in this book, right? So it said the book is coming from Rabbul Alameen, the Lords of the universe. There's no doubt in it. Okay, so the book was there, and now it's saying that, okay, do they talk about, are they saying that he invented it, meaning he invented the book, he made up the book? So Lena asked, where is the it? This is the it, this who, the attached who. Do you see that, Lena? This one right here, who, right? And the way you will know it, if you take a look at your pronoun charts every day, we'll start figuring out, hey, we have these pronouns that gets attached to the words. Can't do that. All right, so huwa has attached form of who, he, which we are seeing attached here. Okay, let's move on. Nothing on the chat. Awesome.
Usab, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
For the root word, where does the yeah come from?
Yes, so ya is hidden, right? So some root letters are hidden. So that's why we don't see it. What's happening here in this situation, this ya is becoming into this alif. So actually there's a group, we'll talk about it later, but just a quick run of it. There is a group of root letters. They are a team, and they are called the waw, the ya, and the alif. So if one of them doesn't feel like showing up to work, someone else takes his place. So yeah, I didn't want to come today. To say, hey, you know what? I'm going to send in alif so that it becomes easier to pronounce, and that's how the Arabs would pronounce it. So the ya has become this alif that you see, right? Otherwise, it would be iftarahu. So because of this alif is iftarahu. Good question. Then we have another one that's a new one, and it's just like a one word, one harf, one letter sort of thing, particle, which just means no, rather. Bal means no, rather. Now, next one coming up is a what? What do you think huwa is?
It's a pronoun.
Huwa is our pronoun, right? Is this an attached or detached pronoun? It's a detached, it's just by itself, right? So huwa means he or it. Okay, so now this huwa is not talking about the same thing, right? The huwa is still talking about the book. Huwa is still talking about the book. Now, as you see the difference, before huwa was coming as a, so remember we talked about it yesterday, right? That's a good example. We want to spend a minute here. We were looking at it, right? And we say that, look, if you're just talking about something, you will use the he format, right? If you are talking about relationship, right? So we said the example was, this is blank's toy. What will be the blank having in the sentence? His toy. Very nice, right? Now, if I say that, okay, I made blank, right? And if we were to use masculine, I made him. Or yesterday I used the example of I fed him. So if I am using something as an object of an action, or if I'm using something to show a relationship, I would be using the attached format. Now, in our scenario, the first usage was it an object or relation when we had a iftarahu? Iftarahu, was that an object? That was an object of an action, right? Invented it. Invented it. That's why we had the attached format. Now here, we are talking about it. We are saying, we are making a statement about the book. So we are using huwa, the detached format. Okay, you don't have to go through all the details. The point is, when you see huwa, you just need to think he. When you see iftarahu, he invented it. That's what we need to do. We don't need to be complicated grammar stuff. So huwa he al-haqqu. Oh, right. Yes.
It was about the iftara, and I asked about how we know that it's referring to the it.
All right. So So what's your question? Let's see. Is your question, how do we know who is it, or how do we find out what it's referring to?
How do we find out that this word is referring to something else? Is there a
Okay.
letter that here that's okay?
Right? So okay, so there's two steps to it, right? One is we know that who or he, right? Actually, I'm just going to quickly show you. So step one is if we go to our pronoun chart, let's scroll down, boom, 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 boom. Okay, so step one, we know that these come as attachments. Who, he, homa, hom, ha, homa, hunna, ka, kuma, kum, ki, kuma, kunna, and ya or ni and na. So you will start seeing it a lot. Okay, these are always coming as attachments. When you see that as attachments, quick question, are these attachments at the beginning of the word or end of the word?
End.
And awesome. So when you see these attachments at the end of the word, you hey, this is a pronoun. Now I have to look in my brain, what kind of pronoun is it? Is it he, she, they, to, what have you, right? You, I, we. So you will then figure it out with practice. But the key first thing is, okay, it's a pronoun. Boom, that's the first indication. Then with practice, okay, I know who is pointing to we. Even if you don't know, just put an it. Okay, so first thing, okay, I can see it's a pronoun. Can I identify singular or dual? If I can identify single, just put in it. If I cannot identify, if I can say it's a plural, just put in they or them, right? Because it will be an attached from it. And then because of the rest of the context, you will actually figure out if it's, first person, second person, third person, and what have you. And also as you keep doing it, then you will realize, yes, ka, I know, I say it every day, assalamu alayka. Salam be upon you. Assalamu alaikum. Salam be upon you all. And so on and so forth. So that's the first part, right? Now you're like, hey, okay, so I understand it, but what is it talking about? So the idea is that you look at what was the noun that was mentioned before. What was the noun that was mentioned before? Because we use pronoun after mentioning a noun, right? So if I'm talking about the cat, I'll say, look, the cat is running around. She is hungry. So when I say she, obviously I'm talking about the cat.
The cat. Yes.
Right? I can't be talking about my neighbor because I was talking about cat. So in this verse, we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was talking about the kitab, the book. So it's continuing to talk about the book that he had invented it, meaning invented the book. Clear?
Okay, thank you so much. Yes.
No worries. Awesome. Okay, let's continue. Where were we? Yes, bal huwa al-haq. Oh, yes, I think we're on the haq. So yeah, here we can identify something, right? Can't we? What can we identify here?
The owl.
Al, right? Which means the.
Oh.
So that's an attachment. Like, you can say a apple or an apple, a book or the book, right? So al-haqq, it is the truth. So haq is probably a new word, right? So haq means true. Ha, off. Why do we have two qaf? Do you guys see two qafs here?
Yes.
This is from your tilawa, right? And tajweed. The two qafs are there. It's just hidden because of the tashdeed, shortcut handwriting. Bal huwa al-haqq. Alhamdulillah. Min is not a new word, right? It did min yesterday, and it is an a'udhu billahi. So now you see min is from, and it's 3,000 times. Wow. Rabbika. Rabbika is also not new, is it? What can you identify in Rabbika? Let's do it, Lena. Lena, do you see a pronoun here?
Yes.
What's the pronoun?
Yes, kaf.
Okay. What do you think ka means? Do you use ka in your regular Arabic language usage? Everybody uses it.
Yes. Yes.
Assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabiyyu wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Right? Everybody says it. Assalamu alayka. So it's used for singular you. Ka is used for singular you. So Rabbika means Rabbi did yesterday. Yesterday we did what? Rabbil Alameen, from the Lord of the
Yes.
universe. Now it's saying Rabbika, very personalized. From your Lord, Lina, from your Lord, Rida, from your Lord, Hira, from your Lord, Shifu, from your Lord, Sahar, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is really personalizing it. It's from your Lord. It's the truth from your Lord, meaning the book is the truth from your Lord. What's the purpose of it? Litunzira. Litunzira. Okay, now let's see if we can identify something here. Probably not. I think everything is new. So we will identify three things here. The first thing is lam kasra. So whenever you see lam kasra, that is usually used for 4. Lam kasra is used for 4. And all of you use lam kasra today, you know? When I asked you, how are you feeling? What did most of you say? Alhamdu lillah. That lam kasra is the same thing. All praise for Allah. So the first thing that we identify is the preposition lam kasra, which means 4. Okay, now we have to deal with the rest of it. So this ta dhamma, the ta dhamma means you. So you know, the first hint I gave you today was yaquluna, the ya meant he. The ta means you. And this will come, we'll show you a chart about it later, but I'm just giving you a tip. If it's a ya, it means he. If it's a ta, it means you. And then you have the rest of the core, which is noon, dhal, ra. Noon, dhal, ra, which means to warn. Litunzira, that you may warn. So this is the haq from your Lord, so that you may warn qawma, a people. That's a new word, straightforward. Qaf, waw, mim. And qaf, waw, mim to the people. Ma. So mim alif is a one-word thing. It comes sometime as a not, and sometime it also comes as a what. Not and what, okay? So with the context, you'll be able to tell. So you can warn the people, ma, not, atahum. Hey guys and girls, can you identify something here?
Pronoun.
Pronoun, what's the pronoun?
Whom.
Whom, which means them. Okay, and we also use this pronoun when we say radiyallahu anhum. May Allah be pleased with them. Atahum. So, and now the new word is has come. Ata has come. So ma atahum, it has not come to them. Not come to them. Right? So you can warn a people, it has not come to them. Who? A warner. Okay, we'll see that in a second. Now, min means from. It can also mean any. Min means from. It can also mean any. Right? Nadir, which means warner. So what do you think are the root letters here? Noon, dhal, ra. So same root letters. So here in this situation, it was a verb, so that you may warn in a verb format. Someone who warns is called a nadir. So if you know the root letters, it will help you figure out. And even imagine if you were to, like, as you start placing words, you will then, you know, making the right format as well, because the context would help you. Min qablika. Okay, so here qablika is essentially before you. Min is extra. So when something is extra, right? So think about it. Qablika, qaf ba la means before, and ka means you. So qablika, before you. So even if you don't have min, right, the sentence would be fine. No warner came to them before you, but you also have min qablika. So when you have additional words or additional harf, this means Allah is emphasizing something. Not at all. Nobody came to them whatsoever. Then you see something else that's new. La'alla. La'alla means perhaps. It is expected. La'alla, perhaps it is expected. And hum is something that you can, all of you can recognize, which is a pronoun for them. La'allahum, so that they may. It is hoped, it is expected that they may what? Oh, look at that. Yahtadun. Yahtadun. What can you identify here? There's a lot that you can identify here.
Yeah.
Okay. Vowel is for plural. Good, Lena. All right. And ya is for masculine him. Good. So if you make a masculine him plus pronoun, that becomes they. Awesome. Now we have to worry about the core. What do you think the core letters are? We have some hint here with the coloring. So ya is definitely not part of the core. What do you think about ha? Ha is part of the
Yes.
core, root letter,
and dal.
and wow.
Yeah.
right? But we know that waw is a team member, right? The team member of a team which has alif, waw, ya. So ha, dal, ya. This means to guide. And that's the same thing that we use in Surah Al-Fatiha. Ihdina, guide us. Hidayah or huda, right? For guidance. So they may be guided. Okay, so we completed that verse. Any questions? Okay, that's
Yes.
35.
Are all root words, are all the root words, do all the root words consist of 3 letters?
Most of them. Most
Okay.
of them. Most of them. Okay, let's see if we can do. Oh, that's a long one. Okay, maybe we'll do it faster. All right, let's see. Bismillah. Okay, Allah, right? Straightforward. Alladhi, that's a new one, but it's really common. Look at this, 1400 times. So Alladhi is used in Quran to connect one thing with the other. Okay, it's a specific way of speaking. So Allah, then you want to talk more about Allah, you would use Alladhi. He is the one who does this, right? For example, in Surah Al-Baqarah, Alif Lam Mim, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Now you want to talk about muttaqeen, الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ, and so on and so forth. Okay, so Alladhi is to connect, the one who. Allah is the one who. خَلَقَ, straightforward. So we will go faster now, right? So I'll just say Arabic, you say English. If I have to point out something, I will do that. So if I say Arabic, what I want you guys to say, Kha, Lam, Qaf, he created. Khalaqa. Okay, so we haven't put in he, there should be a he here, just to be more precise. As-samawati.
Seen, meme, wow.
wow.
And
The heaven.
the heavens. Okay, now in this situation, this alif lam is used for all the heavens. Right? All the heavens Allah has created. Wal arda.
Alif, ra, da, earth.
Awesome. Wama.
What?
And what?
Ma.
So waw is for
Yeah,
and
what?
ma is for
Yes.
what? Remember, ma came
Yes.
before. I said ma can be used for 2 things.
Yes, 2 things.
Either not or whatever, right? Everything. So wama bayina. Bayina means?
Between.
So if you between, yes. So if you want to think of yeah, just picture, right? Bayina, you have 2 things, you have 2 mountains between them, so you use bayina. Okay, now what do you think is huma?
Pronoun.
It's a pronoun, right? And the pronoun, what kind of pronoun is this?
Plural.
What kind of, it's a special plural for 2. For 2, right? And it makes sense here, right? Because between them 2, what's between them? What are the 2 things? What's, that we are talking about here?
Samawati.
Heaven and earth.
Right? So heaven and earth, Allah is the one who created them and whatever is between them. Very nice. Fi, in,
And
sitta, that's an 6. Okay, here's something else that I would tell you that usually you would see. When you see this round ta, you see this ta and then we curve it up. So that is called something for feminine. That's all. Just like how we have indication of plural, an indication of feminine noun is a rounded ta. Yes, that's correct, Lena. Alif after the ha is ha and meme, right? Yeah, awesome. Humma is for 2. Being more precise, it will be huma. You can also say hum, right, for 2 as well. But if you want to be more precise, and that's how Quran would be, you would see 2. Sitta, 6, ayamin, days, right? You know the singular of ayam is yawm, which we say every day. Maliki yawmiddin. Very nice, Sahar. Good. Thumma, then, istawa, he established himself. I know there's a lot of new ones, but as you keep practicing, all this will become part of your vocabulary, right? That's why we have the practice rounds for istawa. He established himself. He established himself. Ala is a preposition which means on. Everybody knows ala. Everyone says ala every day. Assalamu alaikum. That's the same thing. Ala, upon you. Peace be upon you. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. So that's the same ala here. Al-arsh means throne. Ma lakum. So that's a very common phrase. Ma lakum. Ma lakum. Okay, this is all we have done before, but I want to show it to you. Ma means not. We did this a few minutes ago. La and li. So lam fatha or lam kasra is used for. Okay, kum means you all. So ma lakum, not for you all. Min. So now in this situation, min, let's say you put in from. Duni, other. Dun means other, besides, and he is your pronoun. So you don't have other than him. You don't have other than him. Min, again, sometimes if you just see min coming up without a need, it is emphasizing any whatsoever. You don't have other than him, any whatsoever. Who? Wali. That's a new word. Wow, lam, ya. Wali means protector. You may have heard of another word which is also very famous. It's called awliya. So we may have seen waliullah, awliya Allah, friends of Allah, close friends, protectors. So wali means protector, singular. Awliya is plural. Wala and not. Shafi', sheen, fa, ayn. Shafa. So you may have heard of the word called shafa'a. So shafi means someone who does the intercession. So you don't have any protector or any intercessor. Fa, la. Wow, okay, there's a lot of going on here. There's three things going on here that we need to know about. This hamza by itself is usually used for asking a question. Okay, so just like in English, if you want to ask a question, you might have do you, would you. So in Arabic, you would usually see hamza coming. Question. Fa, then. La, which we have seen yesterday as well, not. Afala, then will you not. Sorry, then will not. Then will not. تتذكرون. No, afala, so only the a is for question, fa is then, and la is not. So an example of okay, is in Surah Al-Ma'un when we say ara'ayta. Have you seen? So it's a question, right? So rhetorical, but it's a question. Afala, ara'ayta, have you seen? Right? So afala, then will not. Tatadhakkarun. Okay, let's see if you guys can identify three things here. Let's see who can do that. The word is starting with a ta fatha. What did I tell you guys about ta fatha?
It's male.
It's you, not necessarily male, but it's you.
Oh,
the ta
male,
fatha is for you.
And the
Wow,
plural
is-
at the end is wow and noon.
Okay, so now it's talking. So you plus plural becomes you all.
And the root is dal, kaf, ra.
Awesome, which is very famous, right? To remember, to ponder, to do the dhikr, to do the tadabbur, to think, to reflect, to take heed. Okay, any questions so far? It has a kasra or fatha. Very nice. Okay, it can actually have both. Okay, so we'll talk about it, but let's just talk about it today actually. So lam kasra, we know so far it means four. Okay, sometimes the lam kasra can also come as a lam fatha. That would also be four. And I'll give you one more bonus point, Lina, because you asked. So sometimes you would see a lam fatha by itself, and it actually also means definitely, right? So it could be four, it could also be definitely, which we'll see later on, inshallah, when we come to it. All right, anything else? Because Vidal's clock is running. I haven't hacked it yet. All right, okay, good. Now I want to show you one thing, and then we'll do some practice together, inshallah. So as part of that, well, the point is, again, the idea was that you can understand what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying without having to rely on subtitles and caption or opening your phone and so on and so forth. Well, what's the purpose of that? The purpose of that is reflection. So how can we do reflection? So here's my approach to reflection. And we're going to put it in a nice chart or a slide, and we'll share it with you guys soon, inshallah. But for now, when you are doing reflection, okay, we're not trying to extract Sharia law when we do reflection. We're not trying to figure out what's halal and what's haram. You cannot and you should not extract halal or haram principles just by looking at one ayah. That would be very unwise to do. Okay, but what we can ask ourselves is, hey, what is this verse telling me about Allah? That's the most important question. What do I know about Allah? What does this remind me about Allah? Who is Allah? Okay, which are types of people that it's talking about? Are they good people in the sight of Allah, or are they bad people? What qualities is this verse talking about? Right? What qualities is this talking about? Who are the people that Allah loves? Is this ayah reminding me to shift my focus to focus on something else? Is there a promise from Allah in this verse? So these are 4 or 5 questions. You know, the prompts, if you have interacted with ChatGPT, you ask the question, right? And I think this is a great demonstration of a very famous quote, that the quality of your life depends on the questions that you ask. Quality of your life depends on the questions that you ask. So you can ask a question, why am I fat? Why don't I have energy? Or you can ask the question, what can I do to become more fit? What can I do to lose weight? What can I do to gain more energy? What can I do to improve my recitation? Instead of saying, why can't I recite? Why can't I, understand the Quranic Arabic? You can ask the question, what can I do? So the questions are very important. Let's put some of these questions quickly on the 2 verses that we did today. Let's see if anybody can. What does these 2 verses that we did today tell us about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So these are the 2 words, right? No, that's the one. Yes. So what do we learn about Allah from these 2 verses? Obviously, it doesn't have to be something new, but it's a reminder, it's conditioning.
That he revealed the book, the criteria, the standard for the way we should live, and he had, not that we should live, that everything should live and exist by.
Okay, so that shows that Allah cares about us. He wants us to be successful. Allah's goal is not to throw us in the hellfire, right? He's like, okay, you guys haven't seen any warner comes to you, let me send it to you, right? So Allah He cares us. If He warns us, it's not just to punish us, but for our own good, so we can live peacefully, we can bring the best from ourselves, and so that we can be better, right? The other thing that we also learn from Allah, about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the 2 other things. Let's see if somebody else can point out, and then we want to do some practice before Rida mutes me and, evicts me from the room. Quickly, let's see 2 more things about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in these 2 verses. Very important things. Actually, I should change the format. Maybe, okay, I'll do that tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to help you for today.
It's a
Hmm?
guidance.
No partners, no equals.
Created.
No equals.
Yeah.
Where did you see? Okay, Allah is the designer of everything. Allah is the creator of everything. And that's a very important question for those who do not believe, right? Because that, I have many conversations with non-Muslims, and like, look, everything else in your life, this camera, this iPhone, this Samsung, it has a designer, it has a creator. Well, Allah is the creator of heavens and earth and everything that exists. That attribution is to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just because you can understand how something works, you can understand how a car works, doesn't mean that nobody designed it. So Allah is saying He is the creator of the heavens and the earth and everything between that. So whatever you desire, Allah is the creator of it. Allah is the Lord of it. Allah is the owner of it. So if you want something, ask Allah and do not disobey Allah in pursuing those things. Okay, and lastly, Allah is your wali. So take Him as such. Remember that nobody can hurt you, nobody can harm you unless Allah allows that to happen as a test for you. So do not be afraid of anything when it comes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and make Him a priority in your life. Love Him, fear Him, obey Him, submit to Him, run to Him, ask Him, and so on and so forth. Okay, so with that, let's see, what time is it? I think we have a few minutes. So I just want to get started to feel, right? I know it may be too much, but we just want to have a feeling, and even if we can do 1 verse. So I'm going to do like Zoom breakout. I'll try to move around in that Zoom breakout. And then what we will do is, like, someone can hopefully share the screen. You can share the screen with this notes or ideally corpus, and just see if you guys can just do that rotation that I was saying yesterday, right? So it's just from the top of my screen. Let's say Rida and Lena and myself, if we're in a group, I'll say, right? Then Rida will say or, and then she'll put the next word, yaquluna. Then Lena can say, okay, yakuluna, I see ya, I see wawnun. Wawnun is for plural, ya is for he. That becomes they. And qaf wa lam. Let me think, what is qaf wa lam? Qaf wa lam. Oh, I don't know. Show me. Boom. And then whoever is sharing the screen will show. Then Lina will say, yep, it means they say. And Lina will then challenge the next person with the next Arabic word, which is iftarahu. And that will be my turn, right? We're rotating. I'll say, oh, iftarahu, I see a hu. It's an attached pronoun. Okay, but I don't know what iftara means. Oh, maybe invented. Oh, he invented it. Now I'm going to challenge Rida with the new Arabic word, which is bal. And that way, hopefully we can do some quick round. And that's how you will practice by yourself as well. With that, I'm going to put you in breakout rooms, and then we'll call you back in 5 minutes or so. Rida is going to give you a break after that. You can stretch and what have you and be ready for Ustaz Wissam. I'll see you all next week. You can ask questions on the Telegram group as well. I'll tag me if you can, or one of the admins will tag me if you have questions related to my work. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you for your participation. Please do participate in the group. I know it may be new for today, but inshallah, we will get better as we practice, inshallah. As the Zoom breakouts